There we go. And we are live.
Hi, everyone. Want to introduce Peggy Nichols. Um, she's an amazing, loving soul and is one of my mentors. I love her. And when I was coming up, she was there for me. And she's an ambassador for the divine, which allows her to step into various arenas from mediumship to Reiki Master to animal communication and whatever divine asked her to do, because she's really just a jack of all trades. She can do just about anything you ask her. I've never heard her say no to anybody when they asked for something that they needed. But what a blessing, Peggy. We're
Thank
so glad to
you.
have you here.
Thank you.
Uh, I am so honored to be here with you ladies. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. So we have a lot to share. Goodness, don't we have a lot going on presently?
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came up and how you
Um,
became where you are today?
okay, well, I think all of us, we know that we're a little bit different when we're small and we just kind of dance to the beat of a different drum. But I was also very fortunate that I have, my grandmother, great grandmother, great great great, who were all shamans. My father and grandfather were seers, and how they are now transitioned into the other realm. But many of their gifts have been placed upon me to use. Um, I I believe all of us are very special and gifted, but I think there are those, as I feel I've been touched by the hand of God, um, and cry, to do what I do. And I'm very blessed to have a wonderful spirit guide, Anthony, who walks with me. We're connected, who helps guide me through my journey. I founded Serenity, a service for your well-being, in Marshall, Michigan, back in 2000. But I was doing things far before that. But it was time to be out front. That it was time not to be behind closed doors or just side streets doing, readings, but right on Main Street. Um, and I was blessed enough that the building that I purchased, come to find out after a few years living there, in the books in Marshall of the history, that building was called Serenity, which I didn't know when I named my business that. And it also was a place they did antiques and selling goods, but it was also a place for spiritual um, fellowship. And so it was perfect. And the day I walked up to the building, I put my hands on looking through the window because it was closed. And the building went, "You're here. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you." Next day, I'm with the owner. I end up buying the building, and Bonnie's been there. It has the most beautiful angels, a vortex, and it has two beautiful rainbows that go down through each side of the building. So Spirit put me where I needed to be, and especially in a town where there's 15 or 20 different churches, to have someone who's spiritual step into the middle of the arena.
And literally middle of downtown.
Yes. But when you do, but I never had any fear because I knew it was what I was supposed to do. And just people started coming, and Bonnie being one of them, and we just grew and grew and grew. I love what I do. I am blessed enough to go into almost any arena. I can talk to those who are on the other side if they choose to come for it, a person or an animal. Um, I I can see death. I'm careful with that because I don't want to come across like I'm the grim reaper. But many times I am instructed that there is going to be a death only because I can help the loved ones around to prepare. As far maybe even getting the will paperwork in order, or step up and spend those last few hours or days with them. It's a very delicate arena, but I don't choose what I do. I do what I'm instructed to do. and I love it. And I never turn off. And I'm on call 24/7. And I love what I do. I truly do. So that's kind of a little summary of
So,
me.
so like if you ever went to Peggy's store, she'd be waiting at the storefront. She was always standing up in the front, and everybody who came in, she would take your hands and she would ask you how you were doing. And she pretty much gave everybody a free read that came in the store because she just wanted to give freely to, she was just such a lovely person.
Thank
And then
you.
she would have a psychic fair once a month, and she'd have all the local readers come. And she wouldn't do reads that day because she wanted her readers to get the people. So people would want her to do them, and she would say, "No, this is for them." And so this arena, what we're doing, what we're creating right now, is in her genre. So she loves this.
Thank you.
That's why she really wanted to be a part of it.
Is that accurate?
Oops. I'm competing with my little mommy dog. I'm so sorry, dear.
And so Bonnie, you're saying that she's selfless.
Yes, she very is.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely is. Yes, for sure. But
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, she's always been that way, and she's always been somebody that would help. She always have been somebody who, if you went to her and there was and you didn't have the money or whatever it was, she'd figure out a way for you to be able to be helped in some way. She'd figure out how to help you. You just always could count on her whenever you needed something, especially spiritually. If you're hurting, she's always there to her and Anthony to help you. One time I went to do Akashic reads with her, but Spirit said that I wasn't ready, so I didn't get to do it. Me. That was before I knew anything about it. But she always listens to Spirit. She does exactly what's instructed. That's what she's saying. She didn't try to go ahead. And if I wasn't ready, I wasn't ready. Spirit said,
Right.
And she's honest, and that's what I really like about her too. If she's talking to you, it's from the heart.
Oh, thank you. Well,
So, what's your new life? Oh, go ahead.
No, I can say my heart is welling right now. Thank
So
you.
what does your new life look like in Florida? Because she lived in Marshall, and now she's in Florida.
Well, I of course now at my house I love it. I'm on the water with my doggies. This is my new serenity. It's been a little transition where I've had to step back some because becoming a caregiver for my older sister who's special needs, and then helping my mother before she passed, but so I never stopped helping people, but it came to being when I would go into a store. Latest example, I went into a store for some paperwork, started talking to the owners, and you know how spirit works. And I asked a lady, I said, "Your father is ill." And she said, "Yes." I said, "You need to start spending as much time with him, because if you ask the caregiver, he's starting to marble on the bottom of his feet, his color." And I said, and my guy taps my wrist, means his time is running out. And I get the number 8. So please spend time with him. So I gave her my card, and this was like the end of the month. On the 9th of the following month, she texts me and says, "I don't know how you did this, but thank you. My father died on the 8th. And she said, "I would not have spent that time with her if you hadn't pointed it out."
Yeah.
And I get emotional when there's usually a spirit stepping in, so bear with me, okay? Because I'm having a female spirit step in, so I'll come back to that. So continuing with answering your question, so I've been helping people, people that come and work for me, like my gardeners and my painter. And as I shared with you and Robin, my painter was here, and I said, well, I hate to tell you, I said, but the next 6 years, you're going to be on this roller coaster of emotions. I said, you need to get your act together. I said, but your love life is going to be like this. And he said, 6 years? I said, oh, yes. And I said, and by the way, your daughter that's not married is pregnant and going to have a baby. And he goes, no. I said, yes. So he gets back with me a few days later. He says, well, I have to tell you, I understand the roller coaster. And my daughter, yes, is pregnant again. So Spirit has kept me busy, but with everything that's been transitioning, and like I said earlier, Anthony says now it's time for you to get back out. And so that you're helping me to do that. And I have books, basically, I just need to put in a better format that I have written from the point of view of animals who have passed, spirit guides, all my experiences, or a good part of them, that I had at Serenity, and the importance of being open to even our past lives, because I do past life journeys for people, if permitted. And your past lives are just chapters leading up to the current chapter you're in, and helping you understand that, and helping people with their understanding their karmic balancing, and the connections that you have with your significant other. So I have two YouTube channels I'm putting up. One is Serenity Peggy Nichols, and the other one I'm calling Behind the Mask, because everybody wears a mask. Everybody hides behind a mask of some sort. And this is where it's going to be kind of raw.
It's even worse now.
Yes.
Because people wear the mask.
Exactly. So I want to come from two different angles, and I want people to feel free to know that they can ask me anything, be in a safe place, and not being judged. I've had so many people come for readings, and they'll have their wedding rings off, and because I do the aura chakra reading, I don't ever touch you, but I go through your chakras and I read your life. And the most important one is your heart chakra, because I read where you're at. Are you standing in the center of your heart? Or do you have someone you've allowed to be in there, but now they're standing on you? Are they holding you down, or have they taken control of you? And now you're over to the side of your heart. And this one particular case, this lady, I'm reading her heart chakra, and I step back, I come around, and I smile down at her. I said, if anyone ever asks you, can you love two men equally at the same time? Answer yes. I said, because you have your center, but you have a man on each side of you in your heart. You're married, even though you don't wear a ring. And you've been having an affair. And then I told her how long. And I said, but you need to make a choice, or you're going to lose both of them. So understanding when a stranger can help you to see maybe your secrets, I don't care. I'm not judging you. I just want you to be the best that you can be, and maybe to avoid some mistakes. Bonnie will tell you, I'll never do a reading with a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend in the same building. No way.
No, because she's only going to tell truth.
Yeah.
And there's been too many times that, and the men are the funniest ones, ladies, they truly are. They'll come in and they're all jacked up, but well, go ahead and read me.
You
I
can.
said, okay. Oh, yeah. I go, okay, sure. I said, well, first of all, let me tell you, you've been having an affair with this woman, and I would describe the woman. I said, and I go right on down the line in these details. Now they're about ready to fall off the bed, or the massage table. And I said, I'm not here to judge you. You do whatever you want, but you have a very beautiful wife. And I think maybe she deserves better. And I said, now, do you want me to continue with this reading? And then they go, well, I go, if you want to stop now, we'll stop. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm not going to tell you something that's not true. And with you coming here, I'm going to point out things that need to be addressed. And I've had people from various parts of the United States come to me. I've had clients, thank God to YouTube and Skype and that, or from other countries. And ladies, you'll appreciate this one. I was doing a reading, never met the guy. He was in Puerto Rico. So energy has no boundaries, as you know. As long as you know how to read it, follow it properly. And so I started talking to him, and I started bringing up the problem. And again, things about his wife and his personal relationship. And he was getting a little nervous, and he goes, can you see everything? I said, yes. And I swear to you, in my third eye, the man takes his hand and he goes and he puts them between his legs to cover his genitals. like he was afraid I could see that. And I'm keeping my composure, but I'm laughing. Of all the things he was worried about me seeing, he has to go and cover his genitals. And so you never know what you're going to experience, but you keep yourself in an orderly manner, and then you chuckle after the fact. But I want now to be able to do with you to reach out and help people, answer their questions. And right now, because the relationship issues that are going to be happening, divorces are going to be coming like an explosion. And one of my channels I want to do is guidelines for women and helping them to get through a divorce, not to get mad, but to get smart. Here's some guidelines of what you need to do to prepare yourself for the divorce, to protect yourself financially as much as emotionally. Because love goes out of the window when you start getting into a man's wallet. It makes a big difference. Excuse me, ladies, there's someone's fishing out by my dock.
Okay.
So I want programs to help people, and maybe I might be a little biased because being feminine or a woman, I want to help women because so many times we become intimidated, especially if someone's dealing with a narcissist, and I can speak firsthand about that. But we have to learn to keep our composure, follow our guidance through spirit, and do what we are guided to do. And in my case, my paperwork, getting things in order, not only being married to a narcissist, I was married to a Capricorn. I hope no one's a Capricorn here.
She is.
But a male Capricorn who is a narcissist, being the devil sign in tarot. And I'm a Sagittarian who is the temperance, who is wanting to always find balance. And I asked Spirit, why would you bring this combination? Because I would never do an earth sign as a partner. And but it was a karmic. So even our lessons through our karmic from the past doesn't mean that we had to end up being a victim. So we have to get smart. We have to know when to say enough is enough. My journey is done with them. I feel my karmic debt is done. Then you hope and you get a good attorney. $400 an hour. I think I had a good one. But but we have to do things still with being intact and with some dignity and poise, and not let that dark side of us be at the forefront, even through something that's very heartbreaking. So I hope that these channels, these segments that I want to do can be helpful for women or men. I will do that too. But I'm really prone, and Anthony's guided me to deal more with women,
That
because
makes
I
sense.
think we need that.
Yeah, right now there's such a rise of the divine feminine, and the divine feminine needs a lot of healing in order for the divine feminine to do what the divine feminine is supposed to do. And so that makes a lot of sense that that's where you're feeling guided to focus.
Thank you. Well, a long time ago, a wonderful gentleman who was my mentor um, came in and he held my hands and he says, I want you to remember this. In a very short time to come, women are going to be called to come together. The ones of the love and light, the ones who are spiritual, and you are going to come together. You're going to be the beacon. You're going to be like the first aid, is how the term he used. And we are going to be gathered to help, because there is going to be such a change, the uncovering of the ugliness of men, powerful men, even within our churches and various things, the corruption and ugliness behind them. People are going to reach out for help, and they're going to find it with the feminine.
But I also, let me get back. Is that better?
Yes.
Yes, for here.
I also want to balance it out a little bit, because it's not just the male, it's the energy male. And like there's feminine women who live in the energy of male, of
Yes.
the same sort of, so it's that energy. It's not the gender,
Correct.
it's the energy that we're that's what we're trying to bring to in a balance, because there's many women we've all done it.
Mhm.
We went to work, we've done everything that a man does, take care of our children and done all of that stuff, and
Yes.
then you start thinking in the same way.
Yeah.
Start thinking
Right.
about money, thinking about what comes first, what do you need to take care of first. That's the masculine way.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
it's so out of balance that even us women don't even know what we're supposed to be doing, because if you stay at home, people think you're a failure.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're bringing in the balance of the male and female energy, which is within all of us. And
Yes.
you know, that's kind of how I get from my guides what it is.
Yeah.
what it is.
No, and you're correct, because we all have the male, the female, the masculine, the feminine energy, and tapping more. I think what I'm happy about more the feminine, because I think mothers are the more loving. Normally, we're the ones that give birth, that nurturing. Not to say that there's not men that are more in a gentle way, or maybe they tend more to balance into that feminine, which is wonderful. Long as it's a nurturing and not this power play. Oh my goodness, we have so many politicians out there, that are just, it's like the bullies out in the playground. It's like, mine's bigger than yours, or I'm stronger than you. And they've stepped into a whole different arena
Right.
instead of what really is important. One of my prayers I do every day, if not twice, is praying that mankind will step into a higher consciousness daily, even if it's the slightest bit. But if every day we can step into that, to be more loving, caring individuals for ourselves, then we can be that better individual for our family, those around us, and vibrating, for the world.
Right.
And it starts here. It starts with us.
I hear it. I hear it. Weird.
I don't know what's causing it.
Yeah, and it's only every once in a while. It's
Yeah.
strange.
Well, I mean, like I was kind of smiling because my husband stayed home with my children, and Lord forbid. They were eating Debbie cakes for breakfast. And his idea of being nurturing. My kid, and they couldn't figure out why they were so high strung and hanging from the chandelier.
Oh my God, they're going. Bring me
But they
down.
made that my kids tease and say, well, we made it through childhood, but boy, was it an
Not
interesting life.
diabetes, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I love what you guys were saying about the divine feminine, though, because it is the, I'm glad you clarified that, Bonnie, that it's the energy, not the gender, it's the
Yeah.
energy.
Energy.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
everyone is both, but always maybe a little more one than the other. And the earth has been so much more dominant in the divine masculine. We have been ruled by the divine masculine for thousands of years now.
Yeah.
And now we're seeking, like you guys were talking about, that balance. But in order to bring about healed balance, the suppression and well, there's so many other wonderful words I could choose, and mistreatment of the divine feminine needs to be, that karma, not just for individuals, but for the planet through individuals, needs to be healed. So it's like, as individuals are healing their current issues, it's really also clearing the karmic issues of the planet, I feel.
Yes,
I
I
agree.
agree. Well, and we need to learn to leave behind the past. And I mean, Anthony's always said our past is what it is, something that we can turn and reflect and look at, but we can't get stuck there. We have to be in the now and the present, and to work our way forward. And he's always taught me, remember the people that are going to come on your path. Never take it personal, because there's going to be those who are going to walk a very short distance with you and they're going to leave. Is because whatever karmic debt maybe there was, it's done, it's completed. Then somebody else may join you, but then they leave you. Don't ever think you're doing something wrong. It's just part of that journey. If you are fortunate enough to have someone who walks the distance with you, make sure they walk beside you, not behind you. And as he put it, you have to grab them by the jock strap and drag them with you. Let go of the jock strap. You know, my guide is so wonderful. He's very
Already.
quiet. He really is. But it's, and because we get to our destination so much quicker when we're not having to drag somebody with us, and no one who doesn't want to be there. My experience with my ex-husband, being, it was no one, I never thought I was never going to get married again. I was very happy being single. And I asked the divine, why do you bring me this combination? And he said, because the karmic past you have, you need to deal with. You are here to help him. Give him the opportunity to step into a higher consciousness, to come out of just believing that money is his God. You are placed to give him the opportunity to go in and learn from his heart. But there will come a time you will be no more. But because of this, you will be given the gift, a financial gift, so you can move forward without worry of finances, because you are here. Your destiny is to teach and to help people. And the last thing you want to do is worry about money. So this is going to be your payment. This is the offset, because we will not give you something to do and be a victim and walk away being less than what you are. And 10 years, $50,000 later to a divorce attorney. But I'm where I'm at. I'm where I'm to be, and I am good. I wish him well. I wish him happiness. Last time I saw him taking some of my crystals, I hugged him. Yeah. Bonnie can tell you about my crystals.
They're her favorite.
I did it with a good heart, and it's very, very freeing. because I know my dad, my journey, what I was to learn with that experience is now done. And now I'm at a place that I'm good for the rest of my life if I use my common sense. But Spirit has always given me everything I've needed and more. And I'm grateful for that. And so, but my experience with the divorce and how to handle it and how to help women, I think this that lesson I learned, I'm going to be able to help other women, or at least give them some guidelines. And then what they choose to do with it, it's their free will.
Yeah.
But the realities of life, and it does come down to dollars and cents. Um, and especially, a friend of mine who's having issues, um, borderlining a divorce, she and her husband got in a confrontation the other day. First thing that came out of his mouth, I'm cutting off all your credit cards. First thing,
Control.
yeah, control. So not that I love you, let's work it out, let's go for counseling. No, and now I'm going to cut off your money. And I tell every woman, because I'm also a ordained minister, I do counseling. Every woman, I don't care if you're 20 or 80, make sure you have a nest egg of money. You have something that is yours in your name alone, even if you have it secretly and quietly, because if you ever go through a divorce, you're going to have to bring that into the equation.
If you make it with another family member, that helps because then they can't
Yes.
touch that money because it's not solely yours, to which they have rights to half. It's yours and
Yes.
somebody else's, which means he won't have rights to it. I helped, but yeah.
Good
Yeah.
girl. Well, and that's it because, and what is so sad that men, they go through menopause just like women. I mean, they really do. And all of a sudden they want someone younger. They want to, regain their youth. So they look for a younger woman. And so here's a wife that has given children, maybe helped them to, build a business, the bank account, maybe help them with getting their doctor's degree and all that. Now you become a nobody. They don't want to even give you your half or your fair share because
But
now,
in the other way, it happens with women who are the same way. When a man gives everything and gives them their all, and the woman and helps her through school, it's happened both ways. It's just you don't hear about it as much because a man won't talk about it.
That's
Not
true.
going to tell everyone about it because it's
They'll
to
suck them
them.
dry. Yeah, it will suck them dry.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they pick they're wounded. They have wounds, and they attract those kind of women. So they constantly get taken advantage of because I have people in my family that's happened to over and over again. So it goes in both directions, but it's hard when you're talking from your own point of view because you know what you've been through. But just so that we balance the energy and everyone
Thank you,
knows
yeah.
here that we're talking to we care about both. We want
Yes,
everyone to
thank
be
you.
healed and happy, and this is all about what God has brought to the table and has shown us what to do to help others. And there are specialties because of our filters. There's things that we've gone through that we know, like Peggy, you've gone through this, so you can help other women with it. And there's
Yeah.
things that we've gone through that through childhood wounding and stuff like that they will bring those people to us because we know that we've been through that and we can help them with it. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with only helping one or the other because sometimes because of your filters you specialize in that way, but we do want everyone to know that we're here to help everyone because we're
Absolutely.
here for the
Thank
all.
you for clarifying that because what's so wonderful that, each of us have more of our strengths. Um, and maybe I don't want to say weaknesses, but maybe other areas that we maybe not experienced as much because it's hard for one person really to be everything, to blanket everyone. And that's where I know Spirit is so wonderful in guiding that individual to whom is really going to be the best teacher or influence for them. And that's why each of our experiences throughout our life, we are teachers, and mentors. And what better way to teach is through our own personal experiences.
Yeah.
But you're right, and we do have to put out there that men go through some bad ordeals too. They really, really do. There's some women that are extremely high maintenance. There are drama queens. But this is where when people get a hold of me, when Peggy, I just met such and such, first thing I'll say, what's their sign? What day were they born? And see how compatible they are from those two aspects. But after about 3 dates, you really have enough to base in your mind. If you listen, are they truly going to be a good emotional investment for you?
Yeah.
I think we get caught up sometimes with the idea of being in love instead of the reality, and it's hard to separate. I had a
And try not to make them be a character in your mind.
exactly.
You just decide that they're this loving human being and you're not really listening. You're not seeing the red flags. You have to be careful with your heart because,
Oh yes,
with this day and age, male and female, we're going through so much healing that we don't need that on the table too.
exactly.
Watching others move in and out of relationships, and there's things that other people on the outside would see a red flag immediately, but sometimes that person wants to make that person into who they're looking for. And so that's when it's hard
Yes,
for them to actually see the real person
Just out of,
behind the mask, so that kind of
yeah,
goes with your behind the mask thing.
yeah.
thank you.
That sort of sheer desperation of being loved. Like, if they can just be the person I want them to be, then I have someone who loves me. Like, I'm just going to pretend that they're the man or woman that I want them to be so that I can just say that I'm being loved. And that's really where they're lying to themselves just because they fear not being loved by someone and they desperately want that.
Exactly. A wonderful example. I had a young lady came in for a session with me at Serenity in her young 20s, and she was engaged, going to get married. And she had heard about me. I said, okay, let me gladly do a reading on you. So she comes in and I'm doing a reading and I'm going, okay, let me step back here. I said, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to attack your boyfriend. I said, but I see that you're always, it's like you have in your mind this illusion of this Cinderella wedding and your prince in shining armor and and you have in your mind like this fairy tale wedding. And she goes, yes, I do. I said, but have you not seen a pattern here that I said, he's not coming in my vision as being your prince. He's coming in as a toad. And you keep pulling out your magic wand, bing, turn into my prince. Bing, and you keep hitting him on the head, thinking he's going to transform into your prince. And she said, well, and she's stumbling around. I said, honey, I don't care if you go in there and beat the hell out of him, with this wand. A toad is a toad,
And see, when they're making this up in their mind, they're really falling in love with themselves because that's what they want.
Yes.
It's not the person in front of them.
No,
This
and
character.
And it was terrible because I could see the fighting and the bickering, and Anthony brought her in like this little, princess with her magic wand, bing, and then she's beating him to death, and he's not transforming, and so I said, I am so sorry. I said, if I upset you, but I'm going to tell you what I am seeing.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to step back. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. I wish you well. And, I go, how do you continue after that? You just got to gracefully come to a closure. But you're right, ladies, when you say they get caught up with the idea, I just need someone to love me. I can change them to be what I need. And you can't.
No, you need
I-
you. You need you.
Exactly. Be you.
Because you're trying to make them be you. You have to love you first. And that attracts the opposite.
Exactly.
You're like a magnet. If you're not loving yourself, you're sending people away. When you love yourself, that's when you bring people to you.
Exactly.
That's
You're
exactly how it works.
You're never going to fill the hole outside of yourself. And people never, they just keep looking outside of themselves. So they don't have to face whatever caused that hole or that wound in the first place. They just keep looking everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, do you love me?
Tell her.
No, I'm worthless. Okay, well, you love me? No, I'm worthless. Okay, and they just keep bouncing from
And,
one
and,
person.
Yes.
everyone they meet makes another wound because
Exactly.
they attack themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so they feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, like, well, I must be worthless because every man I'm with keeps telling me exactly what I already thought about myself. Yeah, because you're attracting them by what you think about you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
About you, you'll
Oh,
attract somebody else.
Yeah.
well, and it's so hard. One of my clients comes to mind, and she do many sessions. She says, "Well, I've been putting out there, that God, I want a man, but I get one, but he's this and that and blah blah blah." And I go, "Well, wait a minute. Are you putting in the fine details? God, please bring me a man who will love me in the manner I need to be loved, who we can have a balance of give and take, a man that we can bring out the best in our expressions to one another." I said, "I'm taking you're not asking any of that." "Well, no." I go, "Well, what are you asking?" "He has to have a job. He's got to have this. I want a ring. I want this. I go, "So now it's all the material things." So God answered and brought you these people, but there's no substance to them. So be specific.
I did that once.
What you want.
I told a friend to write out what she wanted. And I mean, from the heart, from all situations, from mind, body, and soul, what she wanted for a man, and fold it up, put it under your pillow, and sleep on it every night, and say, "And so it is." And it wasn't long. She had a husband. She's been married for 20 years now, but it works.
Oh my God. Well, and ladies, if I'm taking too much of the time, please tell me to stop. But I love sharing this. Since I've been divorced now a year, and I thought, well, maybe it's time for me maybe to put my toes in the water and maybe just go out for a luncheon. So a mutual friend of mine hooked me up for a luncheon with a friend of theirs. But I had put out to Spirit, I said, I do like a strong man. I like someone who's confident. And I said, wouldn't it be kind of fun maybe dating someone who was like a movie star or, someone of that type of arena? Well, Spirit has a real fun personality. Go to my luncheon. Well, the man, I envisioned what he would look like. His name is Steve Martin. Looks like Steve Martin. And I'm looking up at Spirit going, oh, this is good. Point being, though, all he could talk about was his ex-wife. And I went, okay, so I feel more like a therapist here during the luncheon. And I had the luncheon left, and I'm with you, Bonnie. I believe the 3-strike rule. So tried a second luncheon, not working. Third luncheon, I grabbed the check, said I'm paying it, and I went, this is a sayonara luncheon. I'll pay for it, but this is it.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes with Spirit has, you want like a movie star? I'll give you one that has the name, even looks like him, but not one. So from then I went, okay, Spirit, Anthony, I guess I'm not ready to venture out. So we'll just step back from that arena for a while. But I think when we can laugh about it and not feel disappointed, because Spirit does have a humor. you know, and sometimes we just have to laugh.
Yeah.
And maybe I found out, well, I did find out, I'm happy with me. I'm not ready to have a significant other in my life. And because my life isn't really completely my own because of being a caregiver. Um, and I'm all right with that. I know my time will come, but I'm never alone. I have the best companion with Anthony, best conversationist, jokester. So my heart is full. My heart is complete.
Peggy,
Mhm.
the minute I said that when I was single, my husband showed up. So, the minute I was happy with myself and I decided, I don't need somebody telling me what to do. I'm happy. And then my husband showed up. So, you may have just opened the door.
I think too, there's another component that a lot of people don't think about, and that is to not only ask for. I think you can either be like put it in the hands of spirit and just say, "Give me whoever it is for best good. I'll let y'all work out the details because then I don't have to think about it." But then or you can list your litany of things. But I think a lot of people forget to say, and help me to be the type of person that I need to be in order to be ready to receive that kind of person, because we
Yes.
can think of just a phenomenal human being, and they'll show up in our lives and you think, I am not good enough for this man. That's what a lot of people end up doing, is I'm not good enough for this person. This person is fucking amazing. Why would this person want me? And then they end up ruining it because they weren't ready to receive that.
Yes.
So you also
Yes.
have to be
Right.
ready to receive that. So it's kind of they might not be the only one that might need to change or be something different. You might have to make some changes too.
Yeah,
Right.
I definitely agree with that.
Well,
You
and
have to
it's
look
so,
within
Yeah.
first.
yeah. And, but I'm good. And I've said to the divine, and I mean it wholeheartedly, that if my journey and my path from this day forth is to walk it without a human significant other, I'm okay with that because I know that any person I bring into my space, this is my space, has to also be spiritual. Because ladies, as you know, a lot of men can be very intimidated because of the insight that you have, the abilities you have, and they're not comfortable with it. And I can't share my life with someone who is not open to this arena, as well as accepting of Anthony,
Yeah.
because the door will never open to have Anthony leave. No, never.
Take me as I am, please.
Yeah,
I'm good
yeah.
either way.
That's it. And I think when we realize that we're never alone, we really aren't. We have, I have several different guides that come in that, especially like Pierre. He's a Frenchman, and he always comes in with these flamboyant outfits on, and the feather in the hat. But he's my jokester,
Yeah.
And then I have Nashimo, who is from China. He's this wonderful warrior who gives me strength when it's needed. Um, so I'm so fortunate that I have this variety of angels and guides that step in for a period of time that I might need them along with Anthony, which is very seldom. I know Anthony, but okay, and but we always have that assistance. We we just have to ask. Um, but I caution when people that are learning and opening and awakening and able to bring forth their spirit guide, I always have to warn them that remember, the dark side never takes a day off. The dark side can disguise itself to be anything, even a duplication of your spirit guide. So you have to know, you have to feel in your heart and that vibration of who is truly your spirit guide. Because you might be surprised, like my ex, there were like a dozen of Davids there. And I said, so which one is the true David? And he could not pick him out. And that told me he was not connecting with his guide, not listening to the true heart of his guide. And we have to remember that disguises come in, and we have to know the difference, or we can all of a sudden be taken down this path, which is a very ugly negative hole. So
It's really simple though, because it's your heart that is your barometer. If
Yeah.
it's not loving, it's not for you. If it doesn't feel
Exactly.
good, your emotions and your feelings tells you if it's of God, because it feels
Yes.
like love. If it's saying anything that's making you feel sad, then send it away,
Yep.
because they will never hurt you.
Yep.
Never.
Exactly.
Anything.
Exactly.
So I mean, so you don't have to be afraid. It's very simple. You just have to pay attention to your emotions and your feelings
Right.
and the energy of it.
Have you guys heard of asking them 3 times if they're of the light and they can't lie and it upset? Have you guys heard this? Where you can ask them if they're of the light and they're not allowed to lie?
Mhm.
No,
I've heard
no,
that.
I haven't.
Have you heard of that, Kathy?
No, you know what? I always ask though that I only speak with those who walk in the white light. And so I
Yeah.
don't really usually actually have that problem. The only time I have a problem is when I'm working on clearing things for people. And that's when I leave myself open to be able to interpret, bring anything lower. And so I technically don't usually have that problem.
But I mean, but like, yeah, if you find someone you're not sure if they're of the light or not, do you ever use that tactic of asking?
I haven't personally, but I could.
Yeah,
Or
I
I
haven't,
just
but
ask.
I've heard of that. I didn't know if that was
I would say, like, if you're not of the light, you have to leave.
yeah.
now.
Also, that's usually what I say.
Yeah.
The only time I've sent a spirit back is when I was doing a session with someone, and when I'm at their crown and third eye, and I'll say, if you are comfortable, if there is a loved one that you would like to step in for a message, then I will open myself for that. But if they are not of a high vibration and of truly the love and light, I will not allow them. So choose carefully who you think you might want to come in, because I do have reserve the right to say yes or no. And
One
there's
thing that you did for my daughter Peggy is her grandpa had passed away on her my husband's side, and she was being a teenager when he was over the last time, and she was just bickering and not didn't even say hi to grandpa and didn't hug him, and it was the last time she saw him, and she was so sickened by that. She kept crying over it, and I kept telling her he doesn't judge you on that. And when she came, because I sent her to you to get a treatment because she was so sad, and you told her, you stood at her feet and you said that your grandpa's here and he wants you to stop worrying about you being a teenager that day he was over, and that he knows that you love him with all his heart, all your heart. And oh my God, what a relief it was for her that day to hear that message, because I think she would have carried that the rest of her days if you hadn't told her that. So I mean,
thank
that's what
you.
mediumship is so important in that way.
Well, and it's thank you for sharing that, Bonnie, because I've done so many people, and it's hard for me to remember everything. But I love that I made it an impression, and something that helped her, I hope, for the rest of her life.
Oh, for sure.
And with that, and I've also have been blessed that one of the psychiatrists, a friend, would send some of his patients to me, because people going in for therapy, they can usually deal, or they talk to the doctor because of what they remember, but it's hard for them to reach and help them for things that are locked up. And so through him getting to know me and his wife, he would send some of his patients, and I was honored, and going into their chakras and seeing the drama or the blockage that transpired. And when I can tell them something that they blocked away and don't remember on a daily basis, and all of a sudden it's like the floodgates open, and it's like that drama now is here, is out. Now it's something we can deal with. something we can physically work with for you. And so I'm so honored that, someone in his capacity felt confident enough to send his clients to me.
Yeah. But
Because
you can't deal with it if you don't remember what it is,
and
or you stuffed it so far in that you have no idea
oh, I know.
why you're so upset about things.
And dealing with children can be very difficult, especially when they've been molested, and trying to help them through that transition and of remembrance and leaving it. But one teenager, and it's really funny because I do believe we come back in different forms, male or female. And this lady had heard of me and she brought in her teenage daughter because she kept taking her to the doctor because of horrible menstrual problems and just irregularities. And so she brought the daughter in and she's sitting at the other side of my desk. And I'm looking at the mother and talking. And I'm looking over at the daughter. And the daughter starts transforming her other energy as a man. And I'm watching this, and the man goes, and he's looking down at the vagina, and he goes, "What the hell is this? What is this?" He goes, and so I'm trying to keep my composure. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Now, do you believe in past lives?" And the mother says, "Well, yeah." And the daughter now is like this, leaning in. I said, "Well, you have been a man in several lives, and this is your first time being in a feminine or female body. And it's like a rejection because it's like a new transition, and things are happening with your body that never happened before." And the daughter, I swear, she goes and she smacks the mother and she goes, "See, she sees it. She sees me. She understands." And I was able now to laugh. And she became a very good client, her and her daughter both. And through their sessions, I told her they would be moving to Tennessee, and which it did. But it gave the mother some peace, but the daughter, she says, and it made her understand herself because the turmoil of anyone who's been like a female always been coming in as a man or vice versa. It
I
is
think
an
it might explain
experience.
some of the people that are confused about being
Oh,
male or female. That
absolutely.
it may be their first life in that gender, and that they so miss the other body that it's just they have to express themselves as a woman, otherwise they're not happy, and that's okay because um, you got to love yourself whatever way you are, and it
Exactly.
doesn't matter if you came in and it's your lessons, but also you have to, while you're here, you have to be able to love yourself. So I just figure, in my heart, the way I see things is that, accepting you the way you are and then allowing yourself to move into whatever makes you happy is the best way to go with that.
Absolutely. And just be the best expression of yourself. And maybe the exterior isn't what you're used to, but it doesn't mean your soul. And be a loving soul. We forget so many times to be gentle to ourselves, to love our inner child, and stop being abusive and mean and ugly. Um, I recommend so many times, I hope it's still out there, when they brought out the DVD, What the Bleep Do We Know? And
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
about
like
the
that.
quantum physics.
Yeah.
And I love it because there's a part in there where the woman goes into the mirror in the bathroom and she's angry at herself. And you can just see the distortion in her energy and in her face. Then she goes in there with loving energy, and she changes her whole expression and the energy around her. So how we talk to ourselves displays outward. And it's as simple as looking in a mirror
Yeah,
and
sure.
just paying attention. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool because we can voice to people, and none of us really probably need the tarot cards. We do the energy, but some people need something to look at. They need something to hold on to, because they have not yet understand that we can look and we can see things. We can read the energy. What really helped me, and when people would walk in the door at Serenity, I could see your aura. That told me everything about you, what type of person you were. And I don't know, Bonnie, if you've been in the building where I would be doing classes, and if a very bad energy, someone tried to open the door of the building would not open.
Wow.
It would not open. And they'd be out there looking like, and the door's not locked. But it is just amazing how spirit will protect you. And
I know.
That one.
oh, I loved it. And I mean, that's why the building, it's so special. But the dark side, we all have that if we care to go there. But when we finally choose to live in the light, oh my goodness, what a journey. It never ceases to be amazing. It's like something new every day.
Yep.
And I feel like I've just been taking up so much time on here, not letting you ladies talk.
Well, that's what you're here for.
Apologize.
Hey, you're our guest. That's the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how I put my glasses on here, my little.
But
Oh my goodness. Okay.
oh, look at that.
I know it.
last time.
It's
Awesome.
beautiful. Wow.
I just want to show you that real quick.
Yeah.
Peggy,
Let me
so
just-
I was
ahead.
gonna say, I think it's really cool. I'm listening to you because a lot of the way you look inside the body into the chakras is very similar to how I get information. And I see past lives and stuff like that. So too, I've been just listening to you because it's fascinating, because it's really similar to how I get information. When I look into a chakra, they'll give me information, or they'll show me a picture of them as a little kid, or they'll give me a past life blurb in my head. So it's very fascinating listening to you. Yes.
It's so amazing. Now, have you ever experienced being the root chakra and going in, and of course it brings in, from the beginning, as you coming through the womb, and I always look to see the energy of the parents, was their energy even present? I mean, a mother, of course, was, but was the child then like taken away, which tells me then they were given up. If the father was present or not, if the mother embraced and held the child to her heart after she was cleaned, or even before cleaning, because that imprint, that starts everything with your chakras. And I've had on occasions where it showed me that the child her parents weren't her birth parents. And I'm going, Anthony, do I let her know she's adopted? And so I would, ask for permission. Or I would say, have you ever suspected maybe you had different parents, or you thought maybe you should have different parents? Because you have to, I don't want them running out in total shock or disbelief, but give them something to think about, or maybe that thought they had gives them a little validation. But that moment of birth, that coming out, and that impression that the mother, I always hope to see taking and putting that imprint of love, heart to heart, is so crucial to your journey, this beginning here, which we call life. And I'm just so happy to be a part of helping those that have questions or lost their way. And Bonnie, I wanted to ask you, and maybe this is something we can go into helping others. Bonnie, do you still have the 3 CDs that you have?
Oh, my sister Penny has those.
What I was thinking, do you think that would be helpful? uploading those, and maybe you can use them like as a session for the self chakra tune up,
Yeah.
or the past life regressions. Now you know there's two different ones.
Yeah.
Ones that's okay. If you thought maybe that might be something that could be helpful, because right now people going and having a hands-on session is not happening. And if you felt that maybe for a like a donation, if I mean, it's like a 45-minute session. I think they're wonderful, but I'm being prejudiced. But if you listen to them again and you think if it's something that is worthy of you ladies using on your show, um, you know, I would love that.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we should just, can they get them on your website or your, do you have them downloaded on your YouTube or anything yet?
I haven't done. I've been my new computer, so I just experimenting how I could upload them, I guess it is.
Yeah.
So, because I do want to have them available, that they could purchase and then just do like a streaming to them.
Yeah.
But I haven't been successful yet, though I haven't tried only once. But if there's something that you would like to share, and if you feel whatever fee, if let's say if you charge $5, you take $2.50, and if you feel to give back $2.50 to me, um, and that way it is a give and take.
Sure.
That just kind of offsets the expense of my making those. It is just a thought because I want everyone to benefit.
But what I think, though, the best thing, way to go is to offer it on your website so that it goes all
Okay.
to you, because that's your work and you deserve that. And then you can decide in your heart how you want to charge it, because
Okay.
I just think that would be the best for you, and we can direct them to your website.
Oh,
Say,
okay.
go visit Peggy Nichols. She has the perfect CD for what you're going through. And so you can get
Okay.
it up there to where they can do it whatever you want for either
Okay, I'll
donation
try
or pay.
that. And
Yeah,
but you know me, Bonnie. I'm always good in trying to share because I
I know.
know, um, in life has expenses. I mean, in life we have to, and I believe we have to try to always help one another.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
where I come
Well,
from.
that would help us because we would have a place to direct it to. So if you put it on your website, then we could say, because I mean that's a good idea. We could have a directive on our page somewhere
Okay.
of different people that they could find for different things. That might be a good idea to do in the future.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a great
I
idea.
listened to my South Chakra tune-up yesterday. I was going to try to upload, and I was pleased with it. I did these actually 10 years ago because I just felt it was so important for people who were nervous going in for a session. And a lot of times they get started and they want to back out. Doing the two different styles of past life regression and the South Chakra tune-up, they can start it, then they can stop if they need to, and then they can go back to it. But the chakras are so important, as you know, especially they've got, I refer to that as like our pistons. When one is not functioning properly, everyone else is misfiring.
I know,
So,
because I always get people when they're new clients and they're like, I want to open my third eye. I want to open my third eye. How can I open my third eye? And my answer is you have to start from the ground up. And
Yeah.
every light comes on as you open it. As you turn each light on, you start from the earth, make your connection with the earth's chakra, and then the base, and you work your way on up. And then it happens easy that way. You're not
oh,
going to struggle.
well, and so many times, like you've seen honey, with their third eye, oh my gosh, it's so expanded, or it's very gray or milky or cloudy, so they're not seeing clearly, or their chakra, their crown chakra, is so expanded. It's like this open antenna. I mean, it's picking up from every universe, and nothing is making sense.
Yeah.
And so, knowing how to size it to what it needs to be, so that perfect size, that flow coming in. But oh my, yeah, I know you ladies have done chakras and where it's like, holy smokes, are out here. It's like, okay, let's work you back into where you need to be, or the
Well,
colors.
I think it's kind of changed for this new energy. I think the more open, the better, but it has to be clear and cleansed, and um, have done the shadow work in order for them to be that far open, and not they're just open because you're not getting like getting like a bad radio reception.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
so but I think once you get everything clear in this higher energy, that we do have wider open chakras because of that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that
but
makes sense.
yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different than it was back in 10 years ago,
Oh
when we
my
used to
gosh,
try to
yeah.
keep it in the smaller, because they're always wanting us to expand so that we can filter this higher energy, and um, especially in the crown, and
Oh
in the
yeah,
heart.
because when we get download, ladies, we get downloads.
See, and if you've been
That's for
doing the
sure.
work and you don't have them wide
Yes,
enough
I
to
do.
accept it, then you start getting
Oh, Bonnie,
headaches.
you just froze up.
Oh,
Oh, I heard you, Bonnie.
oh, okay,
Peggy, actually, you froze up.
yeah.
Did we all freeze up for you?
No, we're fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's just.
Yeah,
Oh,
There she goes.
There we are.
yeah.
I was gonna tell a funny story. I did a lot of earth work one time, and I went to Bonnie, and mine were all blown out.
She looked like she had done
Really?
a jigsaw puzzle in there, in every one of
It
them.
was like this. Whoa. And I'm like,
Oh
whoa, it is
my.
supposed to be like
They
this.
were like this. They weren't round even. They were like,
Yeah.
I was like, whoo, girl.
Oh my
I did
gosh.
some
I have
major
my
earth work, but I learned after that one. I learned really quick when I do that major earth work and stuff like that, where I'm, really doing some major heavy duty cleaning on the earth or whatever, to check my chakras afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
'Cause
know.
yeah,
We
yeah.
whoops.
that's it. And sometimes we have to remember, Anthony's laughing again. He says, again, spritz, 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 the sea
Yeah.
salt water. We need to cleanse ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do. But
So
ladies, I just can't tell you what a joy this has been. I thank you for letting me step into your arena, your lives, and I hope that I was able to bring something to the table here. If nothing, a little bit of laughter with Anthony and I here.
did you want to pull some cards before we finish?
I actually had a quick question
Sure.
about sessions. Do you offer session? Well, I have two questions. First question is, do you offer sessions via like Skype or Zoom or over the phone? Now that you're in Florida, do you do like distance sessions? Is that something?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, 'cause that wasn't mentioned, and I thought, well, people might wanna, like, I don't know, like me maybe might wanna
Yeah.
call you.
Yeah,
Please do.
which would be amazing, you guys. You would.
But my sheer morbid curiosity brings me back to the beginning of our conversation when you were crying because there was a spirit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and it was a female, and she has since stepped back, but
Okay, I was like, who was it? What?
yeah,
Where, what?
no, it has stepped back, but yeah, when spirit comes in like that, it's just like wow, I feel their presence, and also a lot of times my hands stay usually very very hot because I do healing, but when they go really cold, that also is a warning for me. I shouldn't say warning. It's just an indicator that spirit has stepped in. Or I get very, very emotional because of their emotions. And this was a woman that was very, very emotional. And in my meditation later, I'll ask if she'll step back in, and then I'll take notes and see if it was a message for one of you ladies.
Okay, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Did you want to play and read some cards at all?
Okay, well, let me do this. Let me, because I know we've gone through.
Oh,
a
you're
lot of
fine.
time. Okay.
We don't have any rules here. We do what we want.
We get to just goof off. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fun.
Well, you know how I only started doing tarot, actually, when I started my divorce, which took 3 years to do, to finally come to a conclusion. And I had asked Spirit he started having me do tarot. And I got this wonderful deck. And he said, now I'm going to have you look at what each sign represents. So, bingo, comes out the devil. This is my ex.
Mhm.
I'm Sagittarius, and I'm going to Spirit. Why would you put this combination together? But that's when I had said it was the karmic and to help him heighten.
Yes.
So for fun, Bonnie, what is your sign again?
Cancer.
Okay, hold on here. And your significant other?
Pisces.
Pisces. Okay, let's take here. Of course, it'll probably be the last one. Okay. Okay. All right. And what's good? You ladies do Cancer. You do tarot. Okay. So, of course, here we are, the Chariot, which is the Cancer. And then Pisces is the Moon. Okay. Now, the first impression I get, excuse me just for a second. Yes, Sissy. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I'll be there in just a moment, okay? Thank you, honey. Okay. So Chariot, I'm going to go here. If you notice, there's no reins, okay? So it's like, it works perfectly for you, honey, because you want to deal with spirit. You don't need to have the reins to control. You know you're being guided. And usually on most tarot, the horses or the lions are black and white. So you kind of have to look at things as black and white and not needing control. Okay, now Pisces, the Moon. In my interpretation of this, when I'm doing it as a sign, is someone that just kind of gazes, kind of drifts, not being earth grounded or, just kind of in their own world. Okay. So this is kind of the combination that I'm getting for you. Okay. Does that make any sense?
Just,
right.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Kathleen. And what is your sign, honey?
I'm a Taurus, but I'm in the 20th, so I'm in between an Aries and a Taurus. Mostly Taurus, I think. And then Tim, my husband's a Libra.
Okay, Taurus. And let me find Libra. Libra. Okay. Not a bad combination. Not bad. Okay. Okay. So Taurus, of course, we have the Justice card, which I do like this because that means they do look for justice. They usually will try to walk and live within the right. And Taurus, here you are, the Hierophant, which again means spiritual. So being that teacher, that guider, always you walk in the path of spirituality. So this is a good combination. Good combination. Very, very nice.
I saw you get nervous, Kathy.
Oh, no.
No, because it's basically because you both, the vibration, and I see like foundation, you want to walk on a solid, just vibration, foundation. And that's good. Very, very good.
Sure.
Okay, Jennifer, you're next, my dear.
I'm a Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay, like I said, I was talking about male Capricorn.
That's moon, so that balances me out.
Okay, let's go back to it. Okay, and your significant other?
Is yet to come into my life. So
Yet to come. Okay.
We'll
not
see
a
if you can
problem.
find him.
yes, I know based on what I was told, I know the sign of the person I was told I was supposed to be with. I know that much.
There's a couple different ones that pop in. What is the strong, when people were telling you, what was the strongest that seemed to resonate with you?
Well, it wasn't so much a resonance so much as I was literally like by several people, it's that dude. He's a Cancer.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, okay. Can't. Let's go here.
This is fun.
Answer the Chariot. Okay, so now we have the Chariot and then the Devil. Okay. Okay. Now the only situation here is you got two very, very strong personalities. Okay, very, very strong. And the discipline is going to have to come like within yourself, because the chariot here also is going to want to run the show per se. So, okay, I have to go with spirit. Notice how I have these cards not together, that Anthony is having me keeping them separated. Okay. This is telling me this is going to be a very, very difficult situation for you, honey.
I already expected that.
Very, very difficult, because I'm not like the other ladies. I brought them together, but you, my energy stays separated, honey.
It doesn't help that we haven't met yet. So that's also why we're separate.
Yeah, and which is good, because their idea of like the perfect feminine, it's not, I see not quite corresponding. I go like this, corresponding with your energy. You're a very loving, one thing I will say about Capricorns, you're very business oriented. Normally you are. Yes. Normally a Cancer. Yeah.
Not this one.
Yeah. Okay, then you need to discipline yourself, my dear, because usually a Capricorn is usually very self-motivated. Okay, which I have to believe.
You're self-motivated.
Yeah.
You're a go-getter.
Sometimes it takes a little time to find your niche. When I say that, I'm getting the number 3. So Anthony, are we looking at the past 3 or the coming 3? Coming. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take it not 3 days, 3 weeks. I'm going to take it as 3 months. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to take that into the 10th month. Okay. So there's going to be, Anthony's bringing in like change. He's making me take a loop. It's like something may even go full circle around with you. And he's still having me hold up the 3. So just kind of bookmark, honey, in October. Okay, and okay, my finger goes up at I'm now going to go to like the first week in October. Okay, because he's having me keep my one finger. That there may be something that is going to be like coming around full circle again. It could be someone from the past. But we were talking business, Anthony. Okay. When I go to business, he brings out like a tablet. Okay. Like you're going to be drawing up like a blueprint. Okay. And it may be something that you're going to find, you're going to be comfortable. And I hear the word launch and my hand moves out, that you might feel like launching the first week in October.
Okay.
Okay. Just kind of, Anthony goes, mark it on the calendar, because I was talking about you in the business aspect.
Yeah.
Promo. He's bringing in also the word promo. So you might be launching some type of promo. And it could involve products, services. But I'm hearing successful. It's going to be successful.
Well, that's good. I already offer services. I already have a business. My focus is the clients and the work itself, not the business end of it. That's like my least favorite. I hate the minutia. I want to be with the client, doing the talking, doing the chakra healing, doing the channeling, doing all that stuff. That's my meat and taters right there. So what's wrong with the client? But it has been challenging getting off the ground, because I get really good feedback from my clients, but I still feel like no one has heard of me. But I have been told repeatedly, you're going to do your healing work in England, and that you're going to be speaking in front of a lot of people and all that good stuff. So I'm just like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's why Anthony brought in. That's why Anthony said, pick up the book. You need to start making your blueprint. You're writing out your blueprint.
I don't know what it's going to look like, but okay. I don't know what to put on said notepad.
It'll come to you, honey,
Okay,
because that's one thing. Okay, well, I'm clearing my throat. Okay. Okay. You are going to be talking. Okay, you're going to be vocal. Because my voice is changing. I'm going to take it, honey. You might need an adjustment on your your throat chakra. because I haven't had any of this until I started addressing you. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And I do sleep work, so that's not a good thing. But I've also got spinal issues right back here, which also pulls up the throat chakra. So
Okay, because we have to remember, we have a front and a back of our chakra. So, yeah, you need to address that, honey. Okay, okay. Now, as I addressed it to you, I'm clearing up. So, please do that.
okay.
But Capricorns are very, very good, honey, at making money. It's just finding, but you will. Yes, yes, you will, honey.
I've been good at having the same low-paying job for 25 years. That's what I've been good at.
But 2020, sweetheart, when Anthony had me do numerology and he says 2020, you've got a 2 and a 2. 2 represent change. You got change, change. You have a 4, which now these changes that are going to hit us twice are going to hit our home, our foundation. And so we have these opportunities, and especially for us who are needing to get out more through the internet, because we're not able to do the hands-on, but our tools, our gifts, we can do it. And Anthony's told me a long time ago, years ago, Bonnie will tell you, he said, you're going to write your books, you're going to do your CDs, you're going to be international. And international, I do not see myself physically there, but I will be there internationally via Skype, the internet. And how wonderful I have this opportunity to be with Robin next week in Ireland. So we're reaching out. We have Anthony showing there's no walls. There's no obstacles. He goes, they're down. They're down now. All we have to do is move forward.
Yeah.
So it's not challenging that we feel we have to jump these hurdles. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
You know, when you were reading me with the cards, my husband comes sneaking in here and he brings this in. He's going through old things, and this is our wedding cake.
Oh my
And
God.
he's slipping it in like, look what I found. And I thought, thank God she didn't say anything mean,
I knew better.
because that was so sweet.
No, I knew better. No, it's no. Our significant others or our partners, you know, that's part of our journey, learning to understand ourselves. But we have to learn when enough is enough, and when it's time for us to walk away or to make that change. And the divine and Anthony could not have made it any more clear. You know, being a Sagittarius, I'm a fire sign, but then my moon and ascendant sign is also Aries and Leo. So I'm a triple fire. So where does spirit go this evening? Long distance talking with at that time, my husband brings in like this big piece of flash paper, goes on fire and goes, you know how flash paper burns quickly?
Yeah.
And goes, we're done. The next morning I called my attorney. I said, let's go. No more stopping. And so
Yeah.
our signals, our signs from spirit, if we truly want what is best for ourselves, we'll know. We will know.
Well, you know, if we continue to just show each other love, and I mean, even your ex-husband, you know, you learn lessons, and you know that you're right where you're supposed to be right now.
Yes.
You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're in a place where you love, and it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't met him. So, I mean, everything is a
Exactly.
lesson. And so,
Yes.
as long as we continue to share our hearts with each other and move on and forgive and let go of things that get in our way, we're just going to continue to move into this higher ascension that we're here for. And I just believe that it's
Exactly.
just going to be such a better world the more we reach out to each other, you know, like we're doing today and what we're going to continue to do in the future. And that's why we want to have all you beautiful souls on here to highlight the fact that that's what you're doing, and to show that you know, there are people out there who are willing to put their hand out and help us all through this ascension and all this higher energies and help us do the shadow work that we need to do. So it's just
Yes.
so amazing to even know you, Peggy. And I was so grateful that you came on today.
Oh, my pleasure, ladies. And I hope I didn't bend your ear too much. I just, uh, I get on a roll, so forgive me. But if you notice, my sister did come in, and she's one of the, she's beautiful. She's an angel. She's special needs. And so she has let me know that her Wheel of Fortune is on, so I have to go turn the channel.
I know
Thank you
from one
so much,
caregiver
Peggy,
to
for coming
another.
on. It was so amazing to get to talk to you. And you did not talk too much. I was just listening and fascinated. So that's
Oh,
awesome.
thank you. Well, ladies, I hope this is the beginning of a very long relationship like it's been with Bonnie. And,
Yes.
you know, I consider, you know, we are family. We really, really are. And
Yes.
it's such a pleasure. You have touched my heart. And next time I'll sit back and listen more instead of talk.
No, we want you to talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll make sure that we put everybody's information in the comments so that
Yes.
people can get a hold of who their heart feels like they feel close to and would
Yes.
like to speak to.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Jenny? You hadn't said nothing yet.
No, I was just saying, you know, yes to what you're saying, and yes, thank you, Peggy, for everything, for sharing today, and for that, you know, the personal readings and stuff. It's just fascinating when we get to share each other's gifts and share each other's kind of not like contrast and compare, because we all do like the same basic things, but we all do them in really different ways, and it's just fascinating. So very cool.
Thank you. Well, we're each and every one so unique. And again, how blessed each and every one of us are that, you know, we've been able to become, as I like to say, ambassadors for the divine and for the love and light. And it's truly an honor.
Yes.
So with that, ladies, I have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And please never hesitate to reach out. I'm only a phone call or a click away. And I'm usually in most of the time. So now I have to see how I do this again.
Bye-bye.
Stop video.
All right. I will log off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.